Hey guys, it's Serenity. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be working on an Emily tote, and I'm gonna make it at 80%. I printed my pattern out at 80% instead of 100. I like that size for me. I'm not a big bag carrier anyway. I love making them, but I'm just not big into carrying them. But I do like the mini NCWs. That's usually my go-to. But when I do want to carry a bag, the 80% Emily is like the perfect size for me. And I fell in love with this alligator vinyl print stuff, so I've got to make myself a bag. And that's what I'm going to do. So anyways, let's get these zippers on my zipper tape. And then we can get started. Come on. Not good enough. Alright, I got one for my exterior of my tote and then one for the inside zipper pocket. I'm just going to set this aside for a second. I got a couple pieces of waterproof canvas that are kind of wrinkly from being stored. I just want to steam those real quick, kind of flatten them out. Just before we get started, I know I should have had this all ready. I am so sorry. Okay, let's see this one. I think that's good. Alright, I am going to go ahead and jump right into the exterior because I am excited to see this come together. So, I've already got my gray bobbin ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare my strap connectors. Normally I would just go straight to my strap and get it done. But I'm kind of feeling the strap connectors. I seen it, I grabbed it. So that's what we're going to do. I'm just putting some double-sided sticky tape down the center. It's double-sided leather tape at wawak.com if you're interested. WAWAK.com. The 1/2 inch is a really good size, and the 1/4 inch is pretty good too, if you're interested. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to have to get that tape back out. I'm going to go ahead and fold my long edges into the center. Now, if you don't have an industrial machine, your domestic may not like all this sticky tape, so you might have to just use clips instead. But that is just whatever your machine likes. It may like double-sided tape. Ooh, got some on my nail. Alright. So I've folded my long edges in. I'm using these strap connectors from mormino.com. My folded edges are on this side. I'm just going to put it in and fold it like so. I want a little extra up here just for a little extra reinforcement, so make this fold a little smaller than that fold. But I could use clips, but my machine doesn't mind this tape, so I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of tape on there, make sure it's in the right spot, and that'll just help keep it closed until I get to it. And I'm going to use one more piece of tape. This will help that seam stay shut until we get to it, but also when it comes time to put it on the bag, we can use it to stick it where we want it to go and it won't move around. So we're just going to do that one more time. Now on this bag, I am omitting the shoulder straps. I'm more of a crossbody type person, so if I do have to carry a purse, I don't like to actually have it. My shoulders, for some reason, I don't know. Shoulder straps just don't want to stay on my shoulders for some reason. So the crossbody is perfect. It doesn't fall off. So yeah. But alright, one more and then we're done with these. that should stay until we get to it. All right, strap connector's done. We're gonna move those out of the way. Now, I am gonna grab one of my bottom pieces and one of my exterior pieces. And I'm just going to sew those together according to the pattern. I'm going to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Ooh, I've made the Emily tote so many times, I honestly don't even know what she says. I think she says, or she calls for 1/2 inch seam allowance. I'm not positive, but I do that and it works for me. So that's what I'm gonna do. I've been using my domestic, so I find myself reaching for my, yeah. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, we're good. Kind of hoping this doesn't hit the camera tripod. We'll see. I think we're good. All right. Just gonna top stitch. Doesn't even look like much, does it? I mean, if I really didn't want that seam there, I could adjust the pattern and cut it out as all as one piece, but I kind of like the seam there. Let's go ahead and do the other side. That is crooked as crazy. There we go. Okay. And then now, well, I'm gonna top stitch, and then before I forget, I want to put my name tag, my handmade metal name tag on, because otherwise I'll forget. Oh, there we go. That was a little funky. Get my threads. All right, let's go ahead and get that. All right, these should be exactly the same. They are. Let me think. I think I want it up here. What do you think? Down here or up here? I don't know. The Lauren bag I made the other day, I put it up top. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I kind of like it there. I gotta go grab my 3-inch ruler. 1 second. Okay, let's see. We got, let me get my marking tool. How far down do I want to be? That'll work. I'm gonna go 3 inches down. I think that's gonna work for me. Let me just make my marks real quick. Oh yeah, that'll look good. Let me make sure this is even. It doesn't look extremely even here. Okay. I know I shouldn't be doing this like this. I don't want to screw my table up. Be very careful. when I did my Lauren video, actually I did it yesterday. It had been a while since I've made a video and made a bag. And I've made quite a few of them. Man, I kept messing up so much. Like, I would forget to do stuff. I would do it wrong. See, that was upside down. It was bad. So hopefully I can upload it and you guys will get to watch it. You're probably going to be like, what the heck? Yeah. All right. That'll be kind of cute right there, don't you think? All right. Let's go ahead and put this on. I'm going to put some duct tape on there just to help hold it down, hopefully. Yep, I used my teeth. We'll see if that stays. I don't know why, but I have just been in love with this print lately for some reason. Let me think. What is next? We can go ahead and put this on. Let's do that. Whoa. I am not doing a 1/2 inch here. This is at 80%. So at the normal 100%, right here, this notch is a 1/2 inch. So you'll want to do at that notch when you sew it on. My stabilizer is a 1/2 inch on each side, but it's not that big of a deal. I'm not going to sew up next to my stabilizer just because I don't want to mess up the pattern. So I'm pretty close to it, so I'm not really worried. I think I'm close enough. It'll be fine. I'm not worried. I'm just going to go with it. Alright, open it up and top stitch. Okay. This one on the exterior is just super easy. The hardest part, I think, is sewing the side connectors on, just because you got to kind of flatten your seam out. But even that part's pretty easy. The part that takes the longest really is the lining. You got to do your zipper pocket and that zipper panel for the top. I mean, that takes a little bit of time, but you attach that to your lining. I mean, everything gets attached to the lining, so the exterior is really simple and straightforward. All right, we're gonna top stitch this. Yep, we're good. This is crazy fast. All right. And again, I'm not putting any strap connectors on because I'm not doing the shoulder straps. So if you were doing the shoulder straps, you would want to refer to the pattern for the Emily tote. When I make them smaller, I don't really refer to the Emily tote pattern because it might be off a little bit because your pattern's smaller than the original. So you might not want to go in as many inches and place your straps. You may want to put it somewhere else. So I kind of eyeball them. I'll lay my bag down and just kind of be like, yeah, that looks good. And then I'll measure in how far, so I make sure they're all the same on both sides. But yeah, since all I'm doing is the side ones, I'm gonna go ahead and sew this together because the only thing left to do on this one is once you sew your sides together, then we sew our side strap connectors on. So you want to make sure you line up your bottom exterior piece first so those seams match. I'm going to use clips this time because they're a little stronger than those other ones. I'm going to go ahead and clip both sides while I'm here, and then I'll just zoom right through them. And I'm like extremely confident in what I'm doing right now, which is probably not a good thing because I should know better. Because yesterday, after the video I tried to do yesterday, I kept messing up and forgetting stuff. Yeah, I should just be following the pattern, but I'm not going to because that's not my style. All right. My nose is so itchy today. It must be like allergies or something. All right, let's see. And I did do about 1/2 inch seam allowance. It seems crazy to have that big of a seam allowance because the bag's so small, but I like to be able to cut it down. Okay, back stitch. I like to be able to cut it down, but I like the big seam because it's a little bit easier to open. Because we need to open this seam like so, lay it down, and then so many inches in, we're going to be putting this in here. Okay? I find it easier to turn my bag before I've even finished my little gusset things. I'm just going to turn it right side out. It's just easier for me to measure it. I mean, it's really whatever works for you. You don't have to turn it right side out. I'm just weird like that. So, and if you really wanted something to lay it on, you could like maybe lay it on the corner of your desk, flatten the seam out, measure down, and stick that on. So that's probably what I'm going to do. So I may end up moving, or tell you what, I'm going to cheat and use a little bit more tape. Whoa, this is the 1/4 inch tape. I'm going to open my seam and just stick it down. And that will help it stay. Sorry. I'm just putting the tape on the seam, and I'm going to peel it off and then just stick it down. That's what I'm going to do right now, in case you are wondering. So, one moment. This, if your machine likes this sticky tape and it doesn't gum up, this is the greatest stuff ever. You can use it in so many different ways. Alright, now see, that's keeping the seam open for me. I want to do the same thing on the other side really quick. This bag is so easy to make. Lauren did such a good job explaining everything that it's really, really nice. I really enjoy making them. And it could be because I've just made so many of them also that, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm loving bag making. I wish I liked to carry them more because a lot of them are really cool. I'm just not a bag carrier. It's so weird. Alright, I don't know. I don't remember what her dimensions were. What am I looking for? So I'm going to eyeball it. I want to make sure that I'm not leaving this up too high because this is going to get turned under when we sew it to the lining. So I want to make sure it's down quite a ways. I think I'm going to do 10 inches. Not 10. That would be way too far. I think I'm going to do 2 inches from the top. I might not even have to mark it. That looks pretty good actually. Yes, I'm going to do 2 inches. Let me make sure. Okay, yep, we're good. So I'm going to peel that tape off. So that's ready. I'm going to get my marker here. And let me get right over here so I can see and make sure it's good and centered. 2 inches down. I think that'll be a good spot. What do you think? Yeah? Alright, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I think I'm going to sew it on really quick. The tape is sticky, but I just don't want it to come undone. So let's go ahead and sew that on real quick. Let me turn you some more. I may have to move my tripod before this is all said and done. Okay. I'm going to have to turn it inside out again just a little so I can get around. Alright, you may not be able to see this. Let me see if I can move you some more. Sorry. There we go. Okay. So, I know you probably can't see, so sorry. I will just try to make this quick. I'm just sewing it like you do a regular strap connector. Turn my stitch up just a wee bit. Okay. Alright, you're not going to be able to see for a second. Sorry. Sorry. Even though this vinyl is like stiff, it's still quite pliable. Alright, one more time here. Alright, 1 second and I'll show you what we got. Okay, that is what we got. I just sewed a box. I didn't want to sew any diagonal lines just because you're sewing through that seam, and I don't want to put any rivets there. I think it'll be okay, and it'll be fine. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that on one more side, and these will be done. And yes, it probably would be easier to leave the bag inside out, but I like to be able to lay it on here and see and all that good stuff, so I'm just going to be difficult. Because that's how I roll. Of course. Alright, what did I say that was? 2 inches, right? Okay. Let's do that. Awesome. That's stuck on there good. I'll go ahead and turn it inside out just because as long as that stays where it's at. Still gotta shove everything out of the way, but maybe you'll be able to see better. Alright, let's do that again. Okay. Nope, we're gonna go backwards. Okay, here we go. Just about done. Okay. Our exterior is almost finished. Let's go ahead and sew our boxes shut, or our box corners, whatever you want to call it. Go ahead and do that really quick. I'm going to sew from each outside stitch line, and remember, it won't be the 1/2 inch. It'll be what the cutout was. Remember from when we sewed beside our stabilizer before, you're going to want to figure out what that was and measure and do that much of a seam allowance. I think mine was about right here. Turn that back down. Okay, just about. Back stitch over that center seam for extra support there, or stability. Okay. Again, just from that far stitch line to that stitch line. Do the same thing on the other side. And then our exterior will be done. This has been like 24 minutes. Yeah, that's pretty good, I think. Yeah? Back stitch. Okay. We'll just trim down our seam allowances and the exterior will be done. Cool. And for these, I'm not stitching, or I'm not cutting these seams. I just kind of did like a little U-shaped. And the sides, since we had to open that, I'm just going to kind of bend this a little bit, but I think it's going to be fine. Just kind of cut a little bit of this off. I wouldn't cut those seams either if I were you. I'm going to cut right beside where we stitched that connector on though, just to get rid of a little bit of the bulk. I don't know if you really have to or not, but I think it'll be fine. See, it's still kind of there. Just do the same on the other side. I'm honestly not going to get too picky here. I'm not cutting a lot off just because that tape held it open. It'll be fine. All right, how cute. Now for the work. We're going to go ahead and start on our lining. Actually, you know what? Let's do our zipper panel first. Now this is really thick vinyl. I don't know, I mean it's not like super thick, it's still pretty flimsy, but some of it you get's really thin. But anyways, it's fairly thick, and you can see it's kind of bent from where I had it folded and stored. I'm just going to iron a little bit right here to get that to lay down. I probably don't even really need to since I'm going to be folding these edges in. I'm just going to do it to show you that you can. Just don't ever put your iron on the right side of the vinyl because it will melt it. Kind of rub it all over, let it sit just a minute. Don't stay in one spot too long. Okay, see that? Nice and straight, fixed it. I did not ruin my vinyl, it's still pretty. It's a little warm, but it's not, you know, it's not ruined. Awesome, okay. And it goes for the same with the waterproof canvas. You can iron it, which I did just a little while ago. Just use more steam really than anything. Alright, now what I'm going to do here, let me get my ruler. I'm going to go ahead and just on one, I'm going to measure in a 1/2 inch. Actually, sorry, an inch. My bad. Measure in an inch on each end. I know there's an easier way to do this that seems like it's easier when you want to tape all these together, which is great, but this is how I do it. And you're all like, huh, I don't understand what you're saying, but you will in just a minute when I finish what I'm doing here. So one second, we're just putting, I'm using a 1/4 inch tape right now, just so it's sticky. If you don't have tape, there's a reason why I drew this 1 inch line, because you want to fold the edge up a 1/2 inch. So when you fold it up a 1/2 inch, the raw edge is going to touch that 1 inch mark that we just put. But yeah, if I'm confusing you, you'll understand here in just a sec. All right, let me finish getting my tape on here. And the reason I do this, because I will measure these and cut these exact, but every single time, for some reason, there's one off. I mean, you see how this is folded? They're all even on the edges, but for some reason that one's going to be longer. So that's why I do it like this. I only mark the one. It might take a little bit more time, but I enjoy making bags so much that I'm fine with it taking more time because I'm having fun. All right, this is the one I drew my 1 inch mark on. I'm going to peel this tape off, and this raw edge I'm going to fold up to that 1 inch mark. And that will be a 1/2 inch, what I've folded up right here. And I'm going to do that on both ends. Okay. Get this end. All right, so that's what it looks like. And then, I lied. I gotta at least do it on one side. Not all, but 1 inch on at least one side of all of these. Sorry. Only one of them you do 1 inch on each side. This one, the other three you just do the 1 inch mark on one side. All right, let's go with one of the vinyl ones this time. So let's peel the tape. Oh, don't stick. Oh my goodness. Okay. Fold it up to that 1 inch. If you just heard that, my dog is sleeping in the chair over there. He's snoring. So funny. All right. So now we have, this one's folded on both ends. This one's folded on one end. I want to put them right sides together. Line up this edge nice and flush. And then my longer one, let me move you because I feel like you're just staring at the machine. All right, my longer one is on top. We're gonna peel this off, make sure this is flush. And then when we fold this up, we just wanna make sure that fold is exactly even with the shorter one underneath. And so now both of these are exactly the same length. So now it doesn't matter which one you take because you want them both folded in. You're going to go ahead and take another one that has the line on it. You're just going to do the same thing to the other two. Fold it up to that line, right sides together, nice and flush, longer one on top. It just never fails. Every time I do these and I don't do it like this, I just, even if you make the mark on both ends and just fold them up to the mark on each one without doing it like this, you still will have some that's a different, at least I do, that's different lengths because that's just how it works. I don't know. But this way I know that every single one of them is the same exact size as the other one. And so just, these are the same size. Where's my mark? If I was making a bunch of bags, I know Lauren does a lot of custom bags. If I was making a bunch for customers and I had to really get through it, I probably wouldn't take the extra time to do extra things like this. I probably would like cut corners. I'm not saying she cuts corners, but I'm just saying I would try to find ways to make it faster. But mine's more of a hobby. So I'm good with doing it like this. All right. Now we have 4 of these, all the same exact size. Beautiful. Okay, let me get my zipper. I haven't even cut it yet. Okay, move that out of the way. We're going to fold it under a wee bit. So we want it to be, I'm guessing, honestly, I have no clue. I say right here. Okay. Let's do this. Yes. Okay. Now we just need okay. Hang on. I unzipped that and I shouldn't have. Okay. Here we go. One is a little bit longer than the other. Let me trim that off. Okay. All right, we're gonna go with the vinyl because that's what's gonna be facing up. When you look at the bag as it's zipped, it's gonna look, you know, you're gonna unzip it this way. So this is the right side up. We're gonna go right side down of the zipper, but then we're going to fold it, if I can do it correctly, like so. So it has like a 90-degree, you want to do it prettier than mine, of course. But let's see. Whew. On this edge, and you're just gonna line it up and clip it. So, and if you want, you can even fold it like this first and stitch it so it doesn't move. I'm going to make it difficult for myself and not do that. And I'm going to go in like, I don't know, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. I'm not going to make my zipper flush with the top. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. I like the look of that better. And if you have some of your zipper, once you've folded it, mine's pretty flush, but if some of this fold right here sticks out, that's okay. You can just trim it off when you're done. So I'm going to go ahead and just clip it. I'm going to go ahead and clip one down here on the end so I don't accidentally unzip my zipper. It looks a little wonky. It'll work itself out as I sew. I'm not worried. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and baste 1/8 of an inch down this edge, and then we'll put the other side on. Come on. Okay. I like zipper closures that keeps everything in the bag, but I mean, I'm not really a big fan of making them. It just seems like a lot of work. Is anyone else that way? Like, it's just too much work, you don't want to have to do it, but yet you like it, so you have to do it? Yeah. Well, mine ended up getting a little, my bad, but I mean, I didn't do anything wrong, but I just didn't angle it enough. I wanted this down more. It'll be fine. It's hidden in the seam. I'll be sewing over that anyway in the very end. It's fine. Alright, we got our vinyl right side up, our zipper right side down, waterproof canvas lining right side down on top. Make sure all your edges are flush. You're just going to sew over top, just like we do a regular zipper. But I want to sew where I can see where I've already sewed, so I'm just going to flip it over so I can see those marks, so I can see those stitching lines, I guess. And I'm going to go ahead and just clip that, and then we're going to do 1/4 of an inch away from the edge stitch line. The stitch line you have now that you can see should be the 1/8 of an inch. Make sure I got this good. Alright. Do not sew onto your zipper tape because you'll see that. So just make sure you're right on the zipper panel. Oh, I'm out of bobbin. Hang on. Well, I am going to do my strap when I'm done here, just because I know I've got a full bobbin. So I'll be able to finish this, and I'll go straight to that actually. Okay. All right. Here's my zipper. Okay. Yep, all good. Okay. All right. Let's cut all these off. And then we're going to top stitch. And as you can see, I thought I didn't turn it down far enough, but I mean, it's fine. It's down far enough. So we're good. Alright, so we're just going to fold the wrong sides together so we can top stitch this side, and then we will go ahead and top stitch the other side. If this wasn't vinyl and waterproof canvas, you could iron it. It's kind of hard to iron it. You can't really iron on that vinyl, so we're going to clip it and kind of pull it, press on it a little, maneuver it around, zip this up. So that's what it looks like right now, a little weird and goofy. That's good. Just make sure everything's folded away good, so you don't, when you're stitching, you don't stitch it wrong. But yeah. Let's go ahead and top stitch. About 1/8 of an inch away. Just make sure you keep it pulled. I guess I could turn you a little, sorry. So that's what we have. Now we're just going to repeat all these steps for the other side. Same thing. Just like a regular zipper that we do. I'm sure you've all done this 1,000 times. I don't need to like repeat it, but you know. Alrighty then. Let's fold that down. Wow, I really kind of messed that up, huh? We're going to start down here first. If you're not sure about, I want to get this even, so I'm going to actually start pinning or clipping it from down here. That way I can get this side good and flush first. And we're going to clip it from the other side. Here we go. And then once I get down to the end, it'll be easier to fold it under. But like I said before, if you want to sew these ends at their little angle first before you try to put them on, that might be easier. I'm going to get just a little more clippage going on. Okay. These are not my favorite. Forgive me for taking forever. Okay. Alright, go ahead and baste this on. Remember, make sure you stay on your zipper panel. You don't want your stitches to show on your zipper. We're good. Okay. Stay close to the edge, like 1/8 of an inch. Alright, let's see. Good deal. Oh, my thread's doing something funny. What's up with that? Rethread it. Hang on. Okay. Not sure what that was about. We got it. Okay. All right. Let's get this on. Okay. All right, now let's do our 1/4 of an inch away. Let's And then again, we're just going to fold our raw edges together. You can zip it all the way up now since your edges are hidden. Fold the raw edges together, and then we're going to top stitch. And then I'm going to run and do my, not run, but, and then I'm going to go ahead and do my strap, my crossbody strap, since I know I have a full bobbin. It would be so much better if I could iron this. Like, it's so wonky, it's crazy. Alright, go ahead and do this. See if we're good. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Put it back up. Alright, and while we're still messing with this, go ahead and find your centers, just not of your zipper, but just of the panel, and just give those a little clip. Oh, I'm shaky, I must be hungry. I don't feel hungry, but I always get shaky when I'm hungry. Alright, there's my centers. Let's go ahead and do our strap really quick. Just sew it together. We don't have to like do it all. Alright. I'm almost out of 1/2 inch, so I'm gonna go ahead. It's gonna take just a minute longer. So I'm just gonna put a 1/4 inch on each edge of my strap. 1/2 inch is easier because you can just run it through the center. That's the center mark, but 1/4 inch works too. So this is what we're gonna do this time. It just uses a little more tape, that's all. Okay, one more time. It doesn't have to be perfect, as long as it's on there. Let's go ahead and just start here. Just fold that edge into the center. This stuff is so thick. I love it. And also for this really thick vinyl, if you do end up getting some and you're wanting to make crossbody straps with it, I highly recommend Lauren's the adjusters she has, crossbody adjusters or whatever they're called, because they're extra. Well, you'll see them in a sec, but they're like extra wide. I bought some on Amazon and other places, and they're just not big enough, and all the vinyl that you're trying to run through it, just it won't fit. So I like hers because they're extra wide. And I'm not affiliated with Lauren whatsoever at all. I just love watching her videos, and I love sewing her patterns. She's just awesome. So yeah. But yeah, I buy a lot of hardware from her. She has really nice high quality hardware, and you should definitely get some if you don't have any yet. Alright, let's go ahead and fold that in, and we're going to sew our strap up. Okay. I'm going to make my stitch length a little higher. So close. light is like crazy. Hang on. Okay, let me put my light back so I can kind of sort of see again. That was not where I had it. Wow. There. Alright, go ahead and trim my edges really quick. Oh, my scissors suck. And I have a few threads here I want to just melt a little. Careful when using a lighter like that, you don't want to melt your strap, your vinyl. Just really quick, I'll show you. Here's the, look how big that is. I mean, because, I'm not going to put this together right now. I should, just because I'm already doing it. Maybe I will. But, see? And there's still plenty of, room to, you know, rewind it through again. So I guess I'm already here. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. So, might as well, right? So I just folded it through that center. I'm just going to make a couple of stitches. Probably 2 lines worth of stitches. Okay. Okay. Make those a little long so I can burn the edges. Let's check the bobbin. Looks good. All right. Oh, I gotta put my, goodness. Almost messed up. Okay. So this is like a tight fit, but it will work. See that? It's a tight fit. But if it wasn't for her slide adjuster, that's what they're called. If it wasn't for her slide adjusters being big the way they are, this would never work. So yeah. And honestly, for this vinyl is like crazy thick. It would even help to have one that's just even bigger, but it works. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and sew this one down as well. My other string, I always want to call my thread string. Good. Okay, let's cut all those off. Beautiful. All right, there is our adjustable strap. So I wasn't going to do it, and I ended up doing it anyway. Okay, let's go ahead and do our zipper pocket. I'm going to measure down 2 inches, it looks like. All right, I'm going to measure down 2 inches and lay right sides together. In the center, might as well go ahead and you definitely want to snip your center for your lining piece. You'll end up doing that on both of them. If you want to snip this one, you can. I'm just going to mark or fold it. All right. So you can see my mark here and my other folded mark. I'm going to make sure it's centered, but I want to make sure it's down 2 inches. So This is my center ruler. It has a 0 on it, so I already know where the center is if I line it up just right. So that works for me. Next, we're going to make sure that stays there, which we can fold this up and actually clip it, and it shouldn't go anywhere. It's a nice little trick. Okay. So, you have it 2 inches down. I'm going to go down, I don't know, an inch and make my box. Well, let's see, where do we want to stop? Here's my center again, right here. We'll stop at 3. Okay. From the center, so 6-inch box by 1/2 inch. So that is what that looks like. And I'm gonna go ahead and stitch that. Alright, we don't need these anymore. Now we just want to, I personally like to use my seam ripper to kind of start a little hole, and then I'll grab my scissors. Do what works for you. Alright. Okay, and before I flip this through, I'm going to shoot some steam on here so it's just a little more pliable. You don't have to do this, but when using waterproof canvas, it just kind of, I don't know, it helps. Just that whole area that you're going to be manipulating, it helps. We're going to flip it through, and then we're going to iron it again so this seam, this hole, whatever, lays nice and straight. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Straight, flat, whatever the word for it is, that's what we're doing here. And just, yeah, be careful with waterproof canvas is all. But there's that. Now we gotta cut. I usually take it the same exact size as my pocket. If you can see that, a little bit longer maybe even. So let's cut that. Fray it. I feel like this video is kind of boring. Like, it's really quiet. Maybe just because I don't have any music or anything. I don't know. Okay. Like that. Alright. Take your time. Okay. Alright. I have this extra. I'm going to leave it there because I like the, it's going to get sewn into the pocket, so I don't have to worry about the zipper pull coming out. Right sides together. But yeah, so that's why that's there. I'm not going to trim my zipper. Whoops! I'm not going to trim my zipper down, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Wow, loss of words there for a second. I'm going to leave this bottom of my zipper open so it's easier to turn when it comes time to do that. Okay. Let's get this other side real quick, and then we will sew this. So close to being done. Okay. Stretch that. All right, flip it over, and then flip this over, and this is the bottom that we're not sewing. We're going to start there. I would go more than a quarter, but you don't have to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance. It's kind of, I don't know, back stitch over that zipper. If you want to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance, do a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I don't know. I'm not trimming it, but I am gonna put this edge down. Whoa, not that much. It's like 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, whatever you can muster. I'm just gonna give it some steam so it'll keep its shape. And then we'll install our zipper panel. All right, so zipper pocket's done. This one we clipped the center. We need to clip the center of this one as well. I'm gonna do that real quick. Grab my zipper panel. And I got all my drawers open over here. Don't need that quite yet. Depending on how you want your bag to open, kind of hold this up. Pretend it's on your hip if you want the zipper on your hip when you're holding it, or the other way. It doesn't really matter to me, but I think I want mine like this. Like when I reach in, this will be on the outer part of the bag. So I'm going to want to be able to open. Now here's my zipper pull closed. I want to be able to, when I reach in, to grab my zipper and open. So that's how you're going to figure out, geesh, probably couldn't see any of that, but anyway, that's how you're going to figure out which, where to put your zipper pull. So just remember when you go to open it, what do you want on the inside? And I want my zipper, so I want my pull here. I probably confused you. I am sorry. Match up those center snips. Go ahead and clip this on. This has a kink. I'm just going to give it some steam or iron it really quick. I'll check my other one. It has one too, so I will do that real quick. Okay, not much. You don't want to hurt it. Not hurt it, but you know what I mean. All right. Now, if you want, you can base this on. I'm not going to. I'm going to go all out. This is our lining piece that we had to cut out. I'm going to go ahead and put it over top, right side down, and clip it on as well. This is kind of nice about using these clips because they're easier to pull off. Let's just grab a couple more. All right, one more. All right, we're just going to do a quarter, a little bit more than a quarter, something like that. Like I said before, the pattern is an 80%. It's printed at 80%, so the seam allowances aren't going to be exact to the directions. They're going to be off a little. But you definitely want enough left of the seam allowance because we're going to slip it in top stitch. So you want something to top stitch through. Back stitch. Getting a little wonky. Okay. Back stitch. Alright. It was probably 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. So that's what you have. Just flip that up. And make sure you leave this seam pointed up. And we're going to stitch through that top stitch. Make sure you change your stitch length a little bit. You don't want it to be too small. I always forget to change my stitch length back down. So it bothers me that I have to change my stitch length, even though I do it anyway. Okay, I changed it. So I find I'm always stitching it like the same stitch length because I can never remember to change it. And really quick before I add the other side on, I want to put my zipper end on. I'm being a bad girl and using silver, nickel, whatever, even though I'm using gunmetal for everything else. I know, that's bad. But I don't have any gunmetal ones. And I was like, you know what? This bag's for me. I don't care. So, yeah. So I don't care. And I'm just folding in my edges so it'll fit. This one's not from Mormino. It's, I think I got it off Etsy. I don't know where I got them. They're probably from China somewhere. But they're wider, so I don't have to like fold this in so tight to get them on. I do like Lauren's. I use them, but I just don't have any right now. So shove that in really good. Okay, mine's in. And just screw it on. If you want to put some glue in there, also you could. I'm not too rough on my zippers, so I think it'll be fine. That was nice and easy. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do the other side. What? Ooh, good thing. I just looked at this. I'm like, what is this piece for? I got my zipper on one end. I wanted to do a slip pocket on the other end. Shoo, that was close. All right, this is a modified. Lauren does them also. I just eyeballed the pattern, how big I wanted my slip pockets to be. I'll turn it right sides together so you can see the size. Okay, I'm going to fold down this top edge about, I don't know, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, and top stitch it. I'm also going to use my double-sided leather tape for that. So I'm going to put that on real quick. Wow, I'm glad I noticed that before I started with the rest of my zipper panel, because I definitely wanted slip pockets in my bag. Normally, my slip pockets are what I want. When I reach in, I want them to be on that edge. Basically, the opposite of what I put my zipper panel on is what I want my zipper to open with. I don't know, I'm confusing myself. I'm just going to stop talking. But anyway, when I reach in my bag, on the outside edge of my bag is usually slip pockets, because I like put my phone in there, or stuff that I can easily grab. And then the zipper is, you know, on the inside of my bag up against my body, because it's stuff I don't use all the time goes there. Yeah, that sounds good. Sorry. All right, go ahead and just top stitch. Whoa, that was just my water. Okay, we're good. All right. Press this in half. Give it a nice crease. Set it off to the side. Now, this is just how I do it. You can eyeball it. We're going to lay this down with my ruler, and I'm going to measure up, that's upside down, 3/4 of an inch from this notch. I want to measure up 3/4 of an inch on both sides. And I'm going to draw a line. And I'm using a friction pen, but the way we're doing this, you won't even see the line when you're done because we're going to stitch on it. This is how we want our pocket to be, right? So we got to put this up against that line, right sides together, the bottom of our pocket to the bottom of our bag. And I'm going to put a clip so it doesn't move. And we're going to sew 1/4 of an inch right here on our pocket, and then when we flip it up, we're going to top stitch it on so that line will be hidden. So I mean, I would not suggest using a regular pen, but you could technically because it'll be hidden in the end. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and hold this. Just make sure your pocket is lining up with that line. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and use my iron again just so I can get this to lay nice and flat. It is pretty flat already, but I just don't want it to come out wonky. So sometimes I don't even hit the steam button. I just kind of run it across a couple times and that works. Alright, so let's lay these sides down so they don't move. And then now, when we put this in our bag, we can have 2 really big pockets that go all the way to the edge. Or when we're top stitching this down, you could sew in basically where these are. And you could use these little side pockets to like shove a pen or something in. And you'll still have slip pockets that your phone will fit into. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and just kind of, with my friction pen, draw a line that is the same as this cutout down below here. Which it's, let me measure it. If you're doing the 80%, it is, gosh, let me get over here, about 2.5 inches in from this edge. So let's just go ahead and draw a line here and here. Then if you want one really big slip pocket, you could leave this, but I can kind of see where I folded that. So I'm going to go ahead, can't see it well enough here. I'll make the crease, but I'm still going to draw the line just so I can see it really good. Alright, so when I'm top stitching, I'm going to also stitch on those lines that I just drew. All 3 of those lines. Oops. Back one. Alright, when I get to that line, I'm just going to turn and stitch up. I'm going to go past my pocket just a little, back stitch a little, and then come right back down. Oh. And that is what that looks like. And you have these 2 slip pockets. And then these 2 little ones that you can put pens in, and it's not too deep, so you can really shove your pen in there and you'll still see it sticking out. Let me see, I have a big phone I was gonna use for the video and I decided not to, so see, it fits in there nicely. All right, now, yes, I clipped it. Now we can go ahead and finish. is where we were before I realized that I forgot to do this. We're going to lay right sides together, but make sure you flip this up. So this is where we're at. You got your zipper right sides together. Flip it over. Flip this out and find your centers. Oof, hiccuped. Okay. And again, you can baste if you want. I'm just going to go ahead and get my other piece here. Right side down. And clip it on. And repeat just like we did on the other side. And then we can finish sewing up our lining and get this bag put together. I'm excited to see it. Whoa, sorry. Mine, I cut just a little bit long, so I'll be trimming that off. No big deal. My puppy's over there just making all sorts of noises. Yep, the other ones are good. So let's top stitch that really quick. Okay. Sorry, I keep hitting the camera. They have like the stick thing I can turn to like raise you up or down, and it's pointing like right at me, so it's kind of in the way, but it's not type thing. All right, go ahead and unzip your zipper and put this up and kind of clip it to the one edge. That way it stays out of the way. See how I did that? My zipper pulls in here, like way out of the way of seam allowances, and this is flipped up. Match this up to this, and just start clipping your edges. That one was a little long too. Let's cut that off. My finger's out of the way so I don't cut them again. Alright, we'll go back to using the clips because they're just a little bit stronger. Ooh, this one's lining up really good. Now remember when I did my exterior piece, this one's big too. I did a 1/2 inch seam allowance when I did my sides. So I'm going to be doing a little bit bigger than a 1/2 inch seam allowance because I want to make sure my lining is a smidge smaller so it fits snugly inside my bag. One more? Okay. So let's go a little bit more than a 1/2 inch. Oh, we're good. Okay. And we're not sewing this bottom because we're going to use that to flip our bag. Alright. Let's trim our seam allowances down to about 1/4 inch, something like that. There's that. I would suggest not trimming this because in the end, we're going, when this is sewed together, we gotta box them, and it's kind of nice to open those seams, which I trimmed mine too short there, but it's up to you. You can trim them if you want right now, or you can leave them kind of big, just like in the other one I was showing you when we did the strap connectors. It's kind of nice to be able to open them up. So I left this one a little big. All right. we can unclip our zipper. I'm going to open it all the way and shove it. Opened it all the way, and I'm just going to shove it down in there. All right, turn this right side out. Open your zipper so it's open. Grab your exterior, which is inside out. We're going to put this inside our exterior. So if you put your handmade, well, obviously this is where it's at because I put duct tape on it, remember? When you're carrying your bag, you want the handmade to show on the outside so people see how great and awesome your handbag is. And so when you're holding it, this is how I'll hold it when I'm carrying it, that'll be on the outside. I want to be able to unzip my bag from right here. So right here, it's open. So we want that to be on the back side. So when it's closed, it's here. So I can open it. So that's how we're going to insert it. I always put each bag up against me so I can see how it feels and how it opens before I go and do this, because if I mess it up, then I have to tear all those stitches out, and I don't want to. All right, I'm just shoving it in there. This fits amazingly, like perfect. Okay, now we are just making sure your zipper is really tucked down in there. Your strap connectors, I suggest folding them down. Even though mine are down well far enough, I'm not going to stitch on them. It's always good to just do that. It's just good to do that. That way you don't forget sometime and stitch over them and break a needle. That would suck. Yes, this is fitting in here. Oh my gosh, so good. I love it. Okay. Just put some clips on here. We are so close to being done. So close. All right, I'm gonna have to grab some more clips. Okay. Let me get rid of my alligator clips. Okay. Stretch it, make sure we're good here. All right, I'm all clipped. We're gonna stitch. I'm gonna move you, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Will this help? Possibly, maybe, I don't know. Okay. Again, you don't want it to be a small seam allowance. You want it to be a fairly good size because we are going to top stitch this. I can't remember if I'm supposed to stitch directly beside my lining that I have here or not. So I'm probably just going to be like in a little bit. I guess you'll see it once I start stitching probably. I'm going to try to keep it close to that line, I think. You want to have something to top stitch through. This makes the edge of your bag look better. Can you see that where it's at? It's like not directly beside of it, but a little ways away from it. Okay, let's go ahead and adjust. Is that my edge? Not yet. Okay, back stitch. So close. Okay. That's it. All right. Pull out your lining. Isn't that crazy? All right, we are gonna go ahead and turn our bag right side out. Oh, let's move you a little bit. Okay. Oh gosh, an hour and a half already. You know what, that's not bad from start to finish. Not including the cutting. That's not too bad. I don't think so. An hour and a half to make an Emily tote with a zipper pocket and slip pockets and yeah. Poke those corners. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and not stitch my lining shut yet. I want to top stitch first, just so I know that everything's gonna fit. Okay. This is what your bag looks like. I'm probably gonna have to move you up. Nope. Just remember when you're doing the Emily bag, you're not gonna have, like right now, you got your zipper panel all the way up. When you top stitch, make sure your lining gets shoved in there too. We have that little skinny piece we sewed on over top of our zipper panel. That's what that is. And there's our zipper panel. You don't want any of that on the outside. Nothing. You want it just flat, just that exterior. So make sure when you roll your edge under, it's all under. And the only thing you see is your exterior. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and clip it. Shove it all in here. These edges above where our strap connectors are going to be super thick, especially with this vinyl. If you happen to go to a Walmart and buy this vinyl, or you have some really thick vinyl, I would not recommend trying this on a domestic sewing machine. I really don't think it would work. Even with a walking foot and a Teflon foot, this stuff is like thick. And then these edges, I just don't think your machine could. I know mine couldn't. Yeah, I just feel like it wouldn't be fun. You'd break a needle or pull your hair out or something. I don't know. It just wouldn't be good. All right, now my bobbin tension and everything looks really good. So, you know, normally you would squish your bag and do it like this so that top thread is on the top outside part of your bag. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to move this and stitch like I just did before we turned it. Like I said, my bobbin thread looks just as good as my top thread, so I'm not worried about what it's going to look like. Make sure these are flipped down. I'm going to start towards one of the sides, and I'm going to try to stitch over top of the stitch line that's already right here, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I will go ahead and move you again, so hopefully you can see. And here we go. Okay, I turned my stitch length up to about a 4.5. I think that'll look good. Okay. I just suggest going slow and taking your time. When you get to these sides, just make sure your strap connector is out of the way and your zipper, all that good stuff. You don't want to sew through it. That out of the way. Make sure my lining feels bunchy, so I'm just making sure it's all down. Okay. I'm going to trim my threads here real quick because they keep getting in my way and I don't want to accidentally stitch over them. Okay. I'm getting close to that side again. I want to make sure my strap connector's down. Everything's nice and flat where it needs to be. Just take your time. All right. We just top stitched our bag. Yay! Can you see it? There we go. Oh, that's so cute. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and move you again. I may even move you up a little. I always do this. At the end of the video, then I'm like, hey, you guys should be up higher. Wonderful. All right, there's a bag, top stitched. And that's my bobbin. I think that looks really good. That's why I go ahead and do it like that. But go ahead and zip it up. Check it out. Wonderful. I like this bag. So cute. All right, let's go ahead and unzip it again. Pull the lining back out again. All right, I'm gonna reach in here and get that zipper pocket pulled out. Okay, I'm gonna reach in. I'm gonna steam this really quick to soften it up. It's going to be a little bit tighter because we've already top stitched, but it's possible. I just like to top stitch. I just like to make sure everything's good before I finish the bag. All right, just going to sew this long edge shut, then box my corners, and then sew that zipper pocket shut, and then we are done. Oh, I put my strap on. All right, a little over 1/2 inch, I think. Turn that back down. Okay. I am not trimming this. I want to be able to open it like so, or you can nest them if you want to. That's completely up to you. You can open them both and line up your seam. Since this has that little bit of slip pocket, there's like extra fabric. You could just fold it over and nest it. So you know what? That's probably what I'm gonna do. Because sometimes when you get all that extra, it doesn't want to lay really good. So yeah. Anywho's. Go ahead and do this. One way or another, it'll work. Okay. Just go from the edge, and we're going to do a little over 1/2 inch seam allowance, like 5/8. Nothing crazy. Okay. Back stitch over that. It was a little off. Went a little crazy. Ooh, same thing to the other side. Back stitch. Okay. Let's trim those down. All right, and again, I'm not going to trim down that really long edge. I think it'll be fine. Shove it back through there. Back into the bag. All right, not too far. We want to be able to get to our zipper pocket yet. All right, let's sew this puppy shut. Good. Okay. All right, this is it. seam this really quick. It helps those corners fold in a lot easier. My bag is really like airy because of that waterproof canvas. It's not real breathable stuff. Alright, zip it. Just want to get my lining shoved in there really good. Honestly, I probably could have done a little bit more of a seam allowance on my lining, but I mean, it's not bad. Can you see there? Whoa, kind of hard to see. Anyway, whew, that is in my eyes. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and add my crossbody strap. Very nice, I love it. I'm thrilled. It would have been nicer if I would have had a gray zipper, but it's okay. Alright, let's see. I'm going to bring you up some more. Oh my gosh, sorry. Okay, cool. It's a little high right now. I'll adjust it later. But oh, so cute. I love it. So the pockets in here, zipper pocket here, all done. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm going to love carrying this. I have a couple threads here. Let's get them. All right, all done. All right. Thank you guys for stopping and watching. If you made it through the whole entire video, thank you. Don't forget to hit subscribe and the little notification bell so you get notified when I upload more videos. Give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whatever works. All right, until next time, bye guys.